Good morning, buenos dias to everyone from the beautiful island of Barbados. Glad to see you all here this morning. I'd like to welcome our president, our directors, our leaders, all of our families, and all of our brothers and sisters in Latin America and Caribbean. Today is July 5th by the heavenly calendar in the 9th year of Chinaguk, August 12th, 2021. On the daily morning reading 71, Hunuke, for a hopeful church, we want to offer our devotion. Chanje Chariot, Chunjian Chambunem Mo Ke Kembe. Aaron. Okay. Pledge number 5. Our family, the owner of Chinaguk, pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Okay. Now I'd like to invite our risen prayer done by Ms. Masako Phillips in Barbados. Mrs. Phillips.
Our most beloved Heavenly Parent, good morning. Thank you for this beautiful day. We greet you from bottom of our hearts. Thank you for everything you have given to us. Life, nature, everything. Thank you for sending the true parents on the earth. We are eternally grateful. Thank you for true father. Thank you for true mother. We hope that the true mother is always strong and have a good health and long life. Thank you for true mother's deep love for each one of us. Also, we thank you for Continental Director Reverend Kim and UPF Leader Reverend Yang, and also our Regional Director Leonidas. And thank you for all national leaders, all blessed families and members. Thank you for this Hundoke to have us connecting with you, with everyone together. Thank you for us to have this day. And please speak Barbados National Leader, Reverend Phillips, this morning. We open our hearts and mind to hear your words. And we take this word to live this day. We may live for the sake of others, or we may be humble, or we may be loving today more than yesterday. Thank you for everything. I report all these things in my name, Reverend Peter Phillips, Masako Phillips, Blessed Central Family. Adieu.
Right. Thank you, Mrs. Phillips, for your beautiful prayer. Now I'd like to welcome up Mrs. Gelby from Barbados to read our this morning's Sunday.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Gail Adele Veith, and I'm so happy to read True Mother's Words from the Mother of Peace. Looking for Mother's Words, I see the cover of Mother's book, and I'm waiting for the words so I can read. Eliezer, do you have the word? Okay. Okay. The restoration of Canaan in heaven and on the earth. The land of death is the land of life, and the land of life is the heavenly land. I was pushing beyond my limits to fulfill the promise I had made to Heavenly Parent, True Father, and our global membership to restore 7 heavenly nations by our Foundation Day events in February 2020. The work of the 7 years since True Father's ascension now was coming to its climax. To accomplish this, I dedicated a 40-day course from mid-November to the year's end as a course to restore Canaan in heaven and on earth. In various parts of the world, there are people who know me as the mother of humankind, the mother of peace, the universal mother. Hence, despite tremendous challenges, my resolve for the sake of our Heavenly Parent, Heaven's providence, and all humanity is steadfast. It is rooted in the pledge I made as I bowed my head before True Father's holy body. I will establish Chun Il-guk on earth. The 40-day course began in Cambodia. On November the 19th, 2019, at the personal invitation of Prime Minister Hun Sen, which I gladly accepted, I flew into Phnom Penh. The Asia-Pacific Summit was the first event that the government of Cambodia had ever co-hosted with a non-governmental organization. It was held in Phnom Penh at his office, which is known as the Peace Palace. At a reception prior to the summit's opening, he gathered the participating world leaders. The Prime Minister spoke about the importance of the Asia-Pacific Summit, the necessity for harmony and cooperation among Asian nations, and the efforts he had made to help develop Cambodia. I then spoke about the significance of this event. The purpose of this summit, I said, is to share that God the Creator, from whom we have been separated due to the human fall, is humanity's heavenly parent. Our future is full of hope since we are holding the Asia-Pacific Summit under God's guidance. The participants expressed their support for the goals of the summit and applauded the Cambodian government's groundbreaking initiative and cooperation with UPF. Prime Minister Hun also voiced support for my Asia-Pacific Union initiative as a path of cooperation that would lead to peace in Asia. Following our meeting, he escorted me into the main auditorium and the Asia-Pacific Summit began. More than 800 representatives from 46 nations, including several heads of state, were present. I spoke to them about our role in helping bring heaven's providence to fruition and about the coming era of the Pacific civilization, the final point of settlement in heaven's providence. I stated that the Pacific civilization will be one of true love, characterized by attendance to God as the heavenly parent. In the presence of several current and former heads of state and ambassadors, His Excellency expressed support for the vision of regional peace anchored in the Asia-Pacific Union initiative I had proposed. November 19th, 2019, the Asia-Pacific Summit opening plenary, Phnom Penh Peace Palace, Cambodia. Jesus said that the first shall be the last, and the last shall be the first. This sentiment could be felt as these delegates, though far from Jesus's homeland, signed the Phnom Penh Declaration and expressed active support for the vision of an Asia-Pacific Union. So much was accomplished for the providence. It seemed as if 1,000 years had condensed into that one day. I felt that Heavenly Parent and true Father must have been very pleased with the outcome of the summit. The next day, we convened the Youth and Family Festival for Nation Building and Peace at the prestigious Ko Peak Theater in Phnom Penh. More than 4,000 participants attended, including heads of state from around the world, as well as Deputy Prime Minister Bin Chin, Chief Secretary Yim Nola of the Ministry of Home Affairs, and numerous government officials. As I officiated the blessing ceremony held as the culminating event of the Youth and Family Festival, I blessed the nation as Heavenly Cambodia, a nation where our Heavenly Parent can dwell. In preparation for this historic event, I offered heartfelt prayers and devotion for the sake of Cambodia. Between 1975 and 1979, the blood of many innocent people was shed because of a wrong ideology. Some 2 million people were starved and slaughtered because of communism. Today, nearly 40 years later, Heavenly Parent sent the only begotten daughter of and mother of peace to Cambodia to bless this land as a heavenly nation. Heaven's providence has multiple dimensions. From the human perspective, my visit to Cambodia may have been a visit to a nation to host an event. However, Heaven's providence is not so one-dimensional. I had to liberate both the souls of the victims who had been unjustly killed and the souls of the young people whom the government had forced to commit murder and treat their fellow human beings with terrible cruelty. During my benediction prayer, I first comforted Heavenly Parent, whose heart was torn to pieces by the massacres in Cambodia. I then liberated the souls of those who had died as a result of the atrocities. I blessed the past, present, and future of Cambodia through the blessing ceremony, so its young people of today can begin preparing for a hopeful future. New hope for China. Since ancient times, in many cultures and traditions, the ocean has been seen as a mother. The Chinese characters for the Pacific Ocean translate as Great Ocean of Peace. And in English, Pacific means peaceful in character or intent. The Pacific civilization can become a great mother of peace by opening the era of a civilization characterized by filial piety for heaven, Hyojang, and true love, living for the sake of others. It can do so by embracing and putting into practice the sacrificial and altruistic heart of the mother, and discarding our inherited fallen practices of seduction, conquest, and exploitation. The Pacific civilization arises in the latter stages of the providence, centering on the true mother of humankind, the only begotten daughter. At this time, through the only begotten daughter, the feminine aspect of God, the Heavenly Mother, hidden throughout history, must be revealed. God can no longer be seen solely as the Heavenly Father. God is the Heavenly Parent, the harmonious, perfected union of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. The Pacific civilization is defined by the ideal of one family of humanity, which manifests naturally when we attend Heavenly Parent as our vertical parent of humanity. In 2017, I proclaimed this culture of heart based on true love at 12 rallies of hope held in Korea, Japan, the United States, Thailand, and beyond. Hundreds of thousands of people attended these events. I continue to proclaim the Pacific civilization and the culture of heart throughout 2018, starting with the Africa Summit in Senegal and concluding with the Asia Pacific Summit in Nepal. But in order to firmly establish the age of the Pacific civilization, the participation of the Greater China region with a population of 1.7 billion people is essential. Over the decades, the unification movement in China has experienced challenges. Thus, we started preparations for the launch of the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace in 2017 by bringing together overseas Chinese and other ethnic Chinese. The former refers to those of Chinese lineage who have left the mainland and moved abroad while maintaining their cultural roots and connection to the mainland. The latter refers to Chinese immigrants who have lost their linguistic and cultural ties to China. When we say Chinese People's Federation, we refer to both groups. In 2019, the task at hand was to establish the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace, CPFWP, and the Asia Pacific Union. Only after doing so can the age of the Pacific civilization be firmly established. In this historical context, the World Assembly of the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace was very significant. This World Assembly was hosted on November the 20, can't see the words. Anyway, 2019 in Taiwan, after we had inaugurated the Chinese People's Federation for World Peace in 8 nations, including Canada, Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. It was truly a historic day. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Gail. That wonderful reading. It's amazing how much people in Cambodia suffered, and now it's amazing how God is blessing them so much based on that foundation. So at this point, I'd like to welcome our presenter today. Reverend Peter Phillips is the national leader of Barbados. He is a graduate of the Unification Theological Seminary, UTS. He is also a graduate of the Barbados Bible College. He's an ordained reverend. He holds an associate degree in divinity. He joined the Unification Church in 1977 and joined the blessing of, was in the blessing of 400 million couples He served as the first missionary to St. Vincent in 1981. He has been a lecturer on in the region for church family values, anger management, and also conflict resolution. So let's welcome Reverend Phillips with a nice round of applause. Phillips, the floor is yours.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much. I want to take this opportunity this morning to thank our Heavenly Parent and true parents for giving Barbados this opportunity to host this 100 Hair session today. I want to thank our brothers and sisters around the world, around the region. I want to greet every national leader, every blessed couple, and all members of our church around the region. At this time, we'd like to take this opportunity to give you a small presentation of what is happening or what we have been doing in Barbados for the last couple of years. With that, I would like to share my screen. Barbados report on activities for 2020 through 2021. The slide in front of us is a slide that was taken back when we celebrated our 40th anniversary. And in that time, we were able to invite various religious organizations. And my hope and desire is that soon, what we're seeing in front of us, that our members can come back in their numbers. But I realize that due to the coronavirus, a lot of things have changed. However, before coronavirus, before the coronavirus, I was given the opportunity to traverse the island because they recognized that violence in the schools had escalated. And so then the authorities gave me the opportunity to visit various schools around the island to teach conflict resolution and anger management. And I can tell you that many kids found themselves not knowing what to do. And so because of these teachings, we saw that there was a decline in the behavior of our young people. In the year 2000, we were able to have 2 representatives who would have received the Songha Scholarship, 2021. And an ongoing program is Divine Principle Lectures, as you will see on my right and on my left. And this is one of the seminars that I've had where people came to a Divine Principle lecture. Furthermore, we also were able to have a blessing in Barbados at the home of the V's. This attracted approximately 8 candidates. And this is an ongoing thing in Barbados. We were able to go to other churches and also give the blessings to different couples as well. My wife and I, the bishop. And also to homes and invited people over to have the blessing. This blessing here done at the headquarters as well. And in this particular picture, the V's and myself and my wife, we visited the office of the Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs to discuss the Holy Marriage blessing. And this was actually accepted and is being promoted in that area. So we do hope that with time, that not only her and her staff, but the entire cabinet will receive the blessing. Picture above, we were able to meet with the Anglican Bishop of Barbados to discuss the blessing as well. And the discussion was very friendly, and encouraging. And this bishop is actually the head of the Anglican Church, the leading church in Barbados. Here's another blessing that was done. The church of the AME Church of Barbados, and the Reverend and his wife, in discussion, recognize the importance of the blessing. And so then his desire is that his entire church and connecting churches would also receive the blessing. This is part and parcel of our outreach program. UPF, the First Lady's seminar was held through webinar, and our sister Gail V from Barbados, she was the moderator. It attracted First Ladies from around the region and South America, and from reports, it was well done and accepted. Furthermore, part of our activities would have had various leaders from different faiths in Barbados and organizations coming on board to have the leadership in these various conferences. On our left, we have the Major Darrell Wilkinson, who at the time was the president of the Barbados Christian Council. Amari Aki Bula, he's also a member of the Barbados community in the Muslim. Reverend Odo from the Methodist Church. And the lady, Carol Martindale, she's the executive editor of the nation's publishing company. And last but not least, we have the Honorable John King, who at the time was the Minister of Sports and Culture, and the Reverend Beverly Seeley Knight. These participants gave their best and they promoted peace during this webinar. In 2020, we were able to have had 7 participants going to the World Summit in Korea. Opposition leader, Bishop Joseph Astley, and the Honorable Guy Clark, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, along with some of the personnel who are of great interest. And on their return, we received a very good and positive report. And they hope that our organization will continue to strive for betterment as we do our best to usher in peace in the world. Our blessing strategy for 2027, the goal will be to bless approximately 1/3 of the people on our island. The population of Barbados is 280,000 people, and so 1/3 of that is approximately 94,000 people. But let us look at just 94,000 people. It's also figured that we have until the end of 2027 to accomplish this. That gives us 6 years and 5 months. The blessing will start out slow as we begin, and build that time goes by. As we develop some momentum, as we're able to influence more religious and political leaders to work with us to that end. But the reality is in Barbados is that there are not many married couples. Many of our people, as we call it, common law, live in common law families. And therefore, on that outset, we realized that it would be very hard and difficult to bless 94,000 people as blessed as couples. Therefore, the reality is that as I examine the census of Barbados' marriages, there's approximately 20,000 people that may be available to us to receive the blessing. Therefore, the reality is that by 2027, our hope and desire that we can bless 20,000 couples in Barbados. And that is our reality at this time. I want to thank you very much for giving me this opportunity this morning to give this small presentation and report. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Okay, thank you again, Reverend Phillips, for your presentation. Actually, we have a lot of hope in Barbados. We love committed members working hard and doing our utmost to bring a victory for this island. And as you can see, we have many religious leaders, political leaders who are beginning to work with this. We need to educate them, of course, but we do have hope. So before we begin our use in prayer to end our devotion this morning, I'd like to welcome all those brothers and sisters who may have come here for the first time, and I hope you enjoy this Sunday K session with us. So with that, let's begin our use in prayer. All right, thank you, Aju. Amen. Like to, again, a special thank you for allowing us here in Barbados to share our story and participate in this wonderful 100K for our region. I'd like to thank Reverend Phillips for his presentation, Mrs. Masaka Phillips for her prayer, my wife Gail for her reading of Mother's 100K. And on that, I'd like to wish everyone success in all of our work, all of our meetings, all of our efforts to bring God's kingdom on this earth. So thank you very much. And Ok Manse to everyone. Thank you very much again for joining us this morning. God bless and goodbye. Hope to see you soon.
Good morning, brother and sister. Vamos a darle un caluroso aplauso una vez más a la Sagrada Comunidad de Barbados. Lo hicieron muy bien. Gracias, reverendo Philip. Gracias, señora Masako. Gracias, Gary and Gail. Lo hicieron muy bien. Barbados, Uri, Sarangeo. Kamsahamnida. Suguhesumnida. Ok, ahora vamos a continuar. Hoy quiero compartir unas noticias para el día de hoy. Ok, un momento. El día 14 de agosto va la YSP de Nicaragua va a realizar un seminario para celebrar el Día Internacional de la Juventud. Va a ser hora de México a las 6 de la tarde, hora de Nicaragua a las 5 de la tarde, el 14 de agosto. Es Youth Leader Conference. Vamos a enviarles el link muy pronto para que ustedes puedan también participar de esta conferencia. Ahora vamos a ir a lo que a todos nos gusta, el ejercicio. Solamente un momento, por favor. Un momento. Ok, nos ponemos de pie. Please stand up. Ok, ¿están listos para hacer ejercicios?
Sí. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Are you ready to make exercise today?
Yes, we are ready.
Ok. No los escuchamos.
Let me to clear.
Estamos listos. Hacia Barbados.
Ok. Aplausos para la salud.
건강 박수입니다. 주먹 박수입니다. 주먹끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 만성 두통이나 어깨 부위 통증을 예방하는 박수입니다. 봉오리 박수입니다. 손 뒤꿈치끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 방광을 자극하는 효과가 있어 생식 기능을 좋게 하는 박수입니다. 손등 박수입니다. 손등을 반대 손바닥으로 박수 쳐주세요. 요통이 있거나 척추 측만에 효과가 있는 박수입니다. 손가락 박수입니다. 손가락 끝으로 박수 쳐주세요. 손가락 끝에 얼굴 혈이 모여 있어 만성 비염이나 눈이 자주 피로해지는 사람에게 효과 있는 박수입니다. 먹보 박수입니다. 주먹과 보자기를 번갈아 가며 박수 쳐주세요. 손바닥에 심장, 폐와 관련된 혈이 있어 심폐 기능을 좋게 하는 박수입니다. 손바닥 박수입니다. 손바닥끼리 박수 쳐주세요. 손바닥의 마찰, 진동을 통해 모든 경혈이 자극을 받고 혈액순환을 도우며 장 기능을 좋게 하고 갑상선, 당뇨, 합병증에 효과가 있는 박수입니다. 달걀 박수입니다. 손바닥을 오므려 박수 쳐주세요. 중풍과 치매 예방에 도움이 되는 박수입니다. 목 뒤 박수입니다. 목 뒤에서 손을 모아 박수 쳐주세요. 이상 건강박수였습니다.
Ok, continuamos. Vamos. Sofía.
Yeah.
Ana Dulce. Vamos las hermanas. Once again, thank you, brother and sister from Barbados. Muchas gracias a todos los hermanos y hermanas que participaron hoy. Once again, Alhamdulillah. Kamsahamnida.
Gracias.
Para todos.
Adiós.
Reverend Philip, Kamsahamnida. Thank you very much. Cari, Gail, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Santiago. Santiago presente. Y mi compadre está por ahí. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Good morning, Michael, Carrie. Welcome. Thank you. Masako, 사랑합니다. 안녕. 잘 쓰고 있습니다. Thank you very much. Well done.
Buenos días, Esparza, familia Esparza Otón. Mansei. Buenos días, a Chiriquí, señor Pineda, saludos.
사랑해요. Reverend Philip, thank you very much. 사랑해요. I want to see your face. Just move your camera.
Hola. Blessings and God continue to be with you.
Oh, Mr. Philip, 감사합니다.
Nicaragua.
Feliz día a todos, feliz día hermanos de Nicaragua, Centroamérica, Caribe, gracias Bárbaro.